students, today I wanted to talk to you about how to solve some of these problems that you see on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and get my draw tool and I'm going to work out this first one. It says which ones are correct. So if you notice, these are powers of 10 problems. They have a decimal and then a number with an exponent. And we need to see which one is correct. So if we're looking at all these, we need to actually test all of them. So let's look at the first one. So this one right here, I'm going to look at this one first. And it says 29 5/100 times 10 to the 5th power. That 5, that exponent, tells me I'm going to move my decimal 5 times. The operation tells me what direction. When you multiply, you're going to move to the right. So I'm going to move my decimal in this number 5 times to the right. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My decimal goes right here, and I'm going to put zeros in the empty spots. So now let's see if that answer matches this answer. 290,500, and then the decimal would be right here, whereas this one has one extra zero. So actually, this first one is incorrect. You're going to do that for each one. So let's look at the second problem. It says 4 8/10 times 10 to the 5th power. Again, we are going to move the decimal 5 times because of the exponent, and we're going to move it to the right because you're multiplying. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My decimal goes here. I put zeros in the empty spaces. Make sure to go back and erase your original decimal so that you know that that one is gone. So I'm going to go ahead and erase that. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to erase my original decimal. Make sure I put that 8 back right here. And I'm going to look at this problem and see if it matches up with the answer over here. So let's see. If I put my comma here, this is 480,000, whereas this is 4 million, 4,800,000. So that is incorrect also. So let's keep going. Make sure you need to go through all of them to see which ones are correct. When it says the word ones, that means it's asking you for multiple. So let's look at this one. It says decimal 8, 3, 8. And we're multiplying it by 10 to the 4th power. 4th power means I'm going to move it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. My new decimal goes here. A 0 goes in the empty space. I'm going to erase my original decimal. And so my answer is 8,380. That matches, so that one is correct. Now we're going to try this one. And it says 7, 5, 5, decimal 6. So let's put my decimal here. I'm going to move it 2 times because the exponent is a 2. 1, 2. My new decimal goes over here. I ran out of space. So let's go ahead and draw that. Okay. Give me 1 second while I fix this. So it's going to be 7, 5, 5, 6, 0. So, nope, this one's incorrect also. And then last but not least, we have this one. I'm going to move the decimal over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. My decimal goes here. This decimal disappears. And this one matches. So the answers that are correct are this one and this one. Make sure if you see a question that looks like this, that you solve all of them in order to see which one is correct. Let's move on to the next problem. Charms cost $8.55 at Mr. Tucker's jewelry store, which is the best estimate of the cost of 4 charms. So that means you would technically do $8.55 times 4. So for this one, where it says best estimate, you'll want to go ahead and do the math and then see which one of these answers is closest. So let's take a look at this and see. 5 times 4, that's 20. Put your 0 here, carry your 2. Then 4 times 5 again, which is 20, plus that 2 is 22. Carry your 2. And then last but not least, 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 36. No, it's not 36, sorry, 32. Plus that 2 is 34. Now we have this number, and we need to determine where the decimal goes. Remember, the rule when you multiply decimals is you go back to the original problem, so this number, and count how many numbers are to the right of the decimal. This one has 1, 2. This one has none. So that's a total of 2. So we need to have 2 numbers to the right of the decimal in the answer. So that's where our decimal goes. Now, that means our answer is 34 and 20 hundredths. So let's look at our choices and see which one of these is the best estimate. Well, 40, that's like 6 away. 35, 35 is pretty close. 50 is way far off. 12 is far off, so the answer is 35. Best estimate means to pick the one that is the closest. And let's keep going. So now we have a problem that's going to be a little bit harder. So it says Mrs. Feuerstein wants to put a fence around her yard. The yard is a total of 12 6/10 feet. Fence material is sold in 4 feet each for $9.99. So let's look at our first part of our problem. How many sections of fence material will Miss Feuerstein need to purchase to surround her whole yard? So how much fence material will I need? Well, if this is how long my yard is, or how much for the perimeter, which is all the way around, and this is how many feet I'm going to buy the sections in, that would mean, okay, so this is my yard. I'm going to draw a picture for it. Ignore that little piece over there. And all the way around is 12 6/10. Well, I need pieces that are going to be 4 feet long. How many of those pieces would I need? Let's try this out. If I bought 1 piece, that's only 4. Is that enough? No. If I bought 2 pieces, that's 8. Is that enough? No. If I bought 3, that's 12. Ooh, that's pretty close, but then what will I do with that? Will I just have an opening in my fence? Will I have a gap? Who wants to have a fence and then have a gap of those 6/10? So I think I need 1 more set. So how many sets is that? That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to need to buy 4 sections. Okay, even though that's 16 feet and that's too much, I'm going to have to buy all of it in order to cover that entire amount. Because if I only buy 3, that's going to be 12, and that's not going to be enough. So I'm going to need to buy 4 sections. So the answer to part A is 4. Let's look at part B. How much will the fence material cost Miss Feuerstein? Okay, so each section is $9.99. And I'm buying 4 sections. So you know what that is? That is $9.99 times 4. So I can actually multiply it, or I could do repeated addition. I could do $9.99 plus $9.99 plus $9.99 plus $9.99, or I could just multiply. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to just multiply. So I'm going to do 4 times 9. 4 times 9 is 36. You put your 6 here, carry your 3. Then I'm going to do 4 times 9 again, which is again 36, but you need to add that 3, so that gives you 39. Carry the next 3. 4 times 9 again is 36, plus that 3 is 39. So my answer is what you see on the screen, but that's not actually your answer. You have to determine where your decimal is going to go. Remember, the rule is go back up to your problem, count your numbers behind the decimal. This one has 1, 2, This one has none. So that's a total of 2. So we need 2 numbers behind the decimal. And so our answer is $39.99. That's how much Miss Feuerstein will spend. Okay, let's keep going. We got one more. 34 hundredths times 5 hundredths. I wanted to show you a problem like this because I wanted to show you that these zeros right here do not have to be there. These zeros that are to the left of the decimal, if there are no actual numbers like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we can actually eliminate these decimals and write the problem as, or we can eliminate these zeros, sorry, and write the problem as 34. Don't eliminate your decimal though, you need that decimal, times 5 hundredths. So you can't get rid of this decimal, but you can get rid of these decimals right here. And now we just multiply like normal. 5 times 4 is 20. Carry your 2. Then do 5 times 3, which is 15, plus that 2 is 17. And then now I notice this 0, so I would have to multiply this 0 by all these numbers. Well, guess what? You really don't have to do the work because all it is going to be is 0 and 0 and 0. And then you add, and when you add, you're just going to get that same number, 170. But you're not done. You have to go back up here and count your numbers to the right of the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh, that means I need 4 numbers to the right of the decimal down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And everybody, now since we have an empty space, that becomes a 0. So your answer is 170 thousandths. You don't need to know how to say that though, as long as you know how to answer that. Okay, you guys, so that is that. I'm going to hit stop and hopefully you enjoy this video and this will help you for math.